I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that the task in the remaining 10 minutes that I have to present the legacy of this giant is both impossible as well as elusive. If we were given a responsibility to research subjects, we'd probably go to a search engine on the internet, such as Google, among others. I will not look into Google to fathom the greatness of our giant, Dr. Abraham Gittelson, Avraham Yaakov ben Hillel HaKohen. Instead, I will go to the words of the prophet Malachi, in which he records the following words, and anything I say in Hebrew, I will be translating into English. Very digestible. Baby food. This is the description of what Maimonides calls, Maimonides, the great sage, rabbi, physician, philosopher, the greatest person, the ideal person, Ish HaShalem, is described in these words over here. Torat emet haita b'fihu. The Torah of truth was in his mouth. Now listen very carefully, my friends. Va'avla lo nimsa b'sfastav. You didn't find unrighteousness in Dr. Gittelson's lips. In a classroom, it happens on rare occasion, I'm sure with everyone present here, very rare, maybe never happened, that there can be people who raise points, questions, or behave in a certain way that can be less than appropriate. Did Abe Gittelson respond with disparaging, judgmental critique? He took it as a learning opportunity, the master teacher. And that's what the prophet's telling us. No unrighteousness on his lips. Uvamisha halak iti. He went for shalom, in peace, and upright with me. And the last part, the Zohar tells us, these three words are the passport to the world to come. V'abim heshiv me'avon. And he turned many people away from the path of error. I haven't finished yet. The prophet search engine, Malachi, tells us as well. Kisivse Kohen yishmu dat. The lips of the Kohen, Dr. Gittelson, a Kohen, a teacher, his lips guarded the knowledge. And as a consequence of his diligence and his earnestness and his humility and his, as we say in Yiddish, Gutzkeit, what happened around the country, certainly here in South Florida for 60 years, but globally, the Torah was sought by many thousands from his mouth. Jewish studies, people thirsted to hear Dr. Abraham Gittelson. Why? How did this happen? What did he do? He read a book called Teaching Torah, Teaching Jewish Studies for Dummies? No. The words of the prophet are very sincere. How could he accomplish this great task? Listen carefully, please. Ki malach Hashem tzavaot hu. Because Abe Gittelson was a messenger from God. He was a malach Hashem, who was an angel from God. Now Maimonides, the great sage, as I mentioned a moment ago, rabbi and doctor, discusses in becoming the Ish HaShalem, the ideal person, the Jewish educator par excellence. Maimonides tells us in his great work, the Mishnah Torah, that Judaism counsels moderation. Just in case you haven't been to your audiologist lately, I will repeat that because we live in a world with great information. And the last part of what the Maimonides says may be more familiar. Judaism counsels moderation and it rejects extremism. And I believe that the language that Dr. Abraham Gittelson spoke, while you may have heard him speak, I believe he did not speak English. And he didn't speak Hebrew. And Shulamit, when you were in the Soviet Union, when it was less user-friendly decades ago with your husband, I don't think he spoke a little bit of Russian then either. The language of Abraham Gittelson, Avraham Yaakov ben Hillel HaKohen, is the language of eloquent understatement. a language which is devoid of hyperbole, a language of genuine humility. I will conclude by saying that Dr. Gittelson's legacy is manifold. He is Ish HaShalem. He is the ideal man of Maimonides, counseling moderation. He walked not down 163rd Street to Beth Torah. Okay, he walked on what path Maimonides counsels us all to walk on. Shavil HaZahav, the golden path, the golden mean. Derech HaMamutza. I leave with two stories, very briefly. February 14th this year, I visit the Hampton Court, where he's a resident. Usually every Sunday I would go, and it was nothing like spending Shabbos afternoons in your home for the last many years. But sit down with him about 10:30 in the morning. He says, tell me some words of Torah, a Devar Torah. So I share something with him. I was prepared, something to really lift him up. And he thanked me. I acknowledged his appreciation, and then I said, and I want you to know, my friends, this really is Dr. Abraham Gittelson. I said, but these words were not Abe Gittelson's, nothing like this. To which he responded spontaneously in his weakened condition, they were better than Abe Gittelson's. 2 weeks later, I'm at the facility again. I walk over to a table. I see he's playing with a puzzle, some kind of therapy. I tell the nurse I don't want to disturb him. No, he needs visitors. So he tells me he's learning humility. I said to myself, I'm ready to hide. I got a room I can bury myself in over here. He needs to learn humility. He could be teaching the course. So the nurse sets up a table for us in the corner. We're talking, and two ladies come in. One woman launches into the great Holocaust lecture series that he gave, and she says 4 words to him, and on this I close. You are the master. What did he say in return? Yes, I am, of course. It's very clear, everyone. No, he didn't say that. He said it's important. He points to the two of us, the three of us, the 2 women and myself. And he says, it's important for each of you to know that each of you is a valuable pillar in your communities. And each of you is making incredible contributions. You're precious. And in life, the important thing to know, it's not the events that you see and witness, it's how you process it. So I want to thank you for this great honor that we have given this legendary giant of Jewish education, this Ish HaShalem. Yehi Zichro Baruch, let his memory always be for a blessing. Thank you very much.